Hello, and welcome to another episode of Before You Call It Quits. Today's episode is going to be on the ABCs of divorce experts. We're going to be demystifying some of the financial experts that you may want to use during your divorce proceedings to ensure you get what's called a fair and equitable settlement or distribution from your divorce. So we'll talk about one of my favorite designations and experts you might need, which is a forensic accountant. A forensic accountant typically and generally is a CPA first, is a certified public accountant. You'll see CPA behind their name, and they'll probably have some additional designations, one being a CFE, which stands for Certified Fraud Examiner, or CFF, Certified in Financial Forensics. Those will be the designations on the names behind it. These are trained experts, sort of accountants on steroids. They're trained in the area of tax, general accounting, business accounting, as well as investigation skills. And that's very important in divorce because what happens in the discovery process sometimes, and unfortunately, is everybody is not as forthcoming with information as it relates to their financial position, as well as their sources of income. The CFF, or the forensic accountants in this case, they have this ability and skill to trace property and as well as look for property, other sources of income. Just by getting small little breadcrumbs of financial information, they can open the door to that leads to the difference between a long drawn out case and one that is a fair and equitable settlement that can come pretty quick. The second financial expert that you might find yourself in need of is a business valuator or a valuation expert. The valuation experts, not all are CPAs, some of them are. They will have the accreditation of an ABV behind them. There will be alphabet soup of ABV, accredited business valuator, or they could be what's called a CBA. And in this case, there are the implications of the designations are pretty much the same. There is individuals that can value property, which can be a business, can be a house, can be land, as well as it could be stock options. So you won't need, the business valuator isn't just for the purposes of a small business. It may be someone, you or your spouse has stock options or stock rights from your company. That is another reason why you may want to use a valuation expert. That valuation expert, just didn't want to leave this out, may also be helpful when you're trying to value anyone that has a pension. 401ks are a little bit easier to value. You may not need them for that. But if you have a pension, you're likely going to need a valuation expert in addition to your legal counsel. And that they'll be very helpful in really valuing and understanding what's the value of the pension, as well as what the potential, if you were to do what's called a 𝗕𝗲𝗁 to kind of separate some of your retirement assets, what that would and should look like for a fair and equitable settlement. And third, and not the least important, is the CDFA, which is a Certified Divorce Financial Analyst. The Certified Divorce Financial Analyst is sort of the, not necessarily the post expert, but it's the expert that is specifically trained to work in the area of divorce, right? And that divorce expert is looking at a number of things that maybe the other designations don't look at. Specifically, they're looking into lifestyle. They understand the divorce proceedings, so they can help you really, what I want to say is model out what the financial incomes out of potential settlements. That is the one thing that the other two experts don't really focus on, and that's the modeling of if the settlement was to happen today, based on what everybody's sort of agreeing to, what would be the financial shape of both spouses? That's what the CDFAs can really help you do, is map out based on to say what's fair and equitable, based on really give you the numbers of what's it going to look like. These individuals typically testify in this case about lifestyle analyses, lifestyle outcomes. So it's a great financial professional to really help you understand what the potential settlement could lead to, what are the potential cash flow outcomes, as well as in the future, how should in cases where a spouse is provided a lump sum of funds, how should those funds be managed or invested in a manner that ensures that the spouse, that may be possibly the non-working spouse isn't to take care of, but this is taken care of, as well as that the children do have probably a nest egg per se to support them in the end. CDFAs really work closely with the client to plan for the future and as well as tell the story of the current. So very helpful experts in the divorce process. And if you can get real lucky, You got a divorce. You may have a divorce expert that's a CPA, a business valuation expert, as well as a CDFA. So, in closing, thank you for your attendance today and hearing more about the ABCs of divorce. Thanks.